it's Josiah here, back again with another video. In this video, I want to be discussing the 50K a month roadmap, okay? And before I actually go into this, if this is the first time you heard of me or this is the first video you watched, I'll just quickly present myself and actually just show you why I'm qualified to even talk like this. So started working in a marketing agency, also in a property development company and acquisition, then got mentored by two 8-figure agency owners, then an acquisition and formed an agency. And then we worked with now it's around 70 plus marketing agencies to help build out the client acquisition, right? So we also took AGP, that was my other agency that I ran, from 0 to 50K in under 90 days, twice. So we went there, came back, and then went there again, right? And then now I'm the founder of Agency Advancer, AA, okay? These are just some case studies. Jovan, month revenue 10,000, 85 in 85 days. New annual revenue 120,000. Zach Odom, this is 120,000 on new monthly revenue in 5 months. New annual revenue of 1.1 million, and also Flax Creatives, we added an extra 28,000 in under 30 days. Okay, and also added an extra annual revenue of 336,000. So it seems as though I know what I'm talking about when it comes to making money and building client acquisitions. Okay, so what I'm going to be going through is this beast of a monster, right? Take me a few hours to get this up. However, this is going to be all you need to follow to hit at least $50,000 per month. Okay, everything, and the reason why is because we literally followed this whole thing, this whole roadmap twice, and our clients followed it and got the same result. Okay, so less further ado, let's get into the meat and give you all the source. Okay, so firstly, we want to pick a niche, right? You want to pick a niche that's a large TAM, total addressable market. That's around, in my opinion, it could be around 15,000 minimum to around like 100,000, right? But just enough for you to scale. Because I remember before I used to have a client, right? They'll come to me saying, Josiah, I want to get 50 bookings a month, right? 100 bookings a month. But like their niche is like the smallest niche in the world, right? I'm like, if you get 50 bookings a month on the first month, well done. But it's only going to last for an extra 60 days until you've meshed every single person in that niche, right? Because there's only a few of them that may be actually ready for your solution, right? The next thing, what you want to do is actually what we've done is actually find competitors' case studies and use them as leverage, right? Because everyone's looking at ChatGPT or AI to find like market research, but your competitors has already got results in that niche. They've already collected client interviews. You just go to the client interviews instead of wasting your time on ChatGPT. Yes, it's helpful if you don't know anything about the niche and you want some generic advice. It's okay. However, if you go to your competitors' case studies and you look at every single one of their case studies, and let's say they have 3 or 4, you will learn way more about the niche than any ChatGPT prompt can ever tell you. Okay, trust me when I say this. It's like night and day difference. Okay, so you find a few competitors in that niche, you look at their client case studies, and you start formulating their pain points. And usually, what you'll find is that the person or whoever's doing the client interview will usually say, what were you dealing with before joining us, right? And they will go through all of their pains. Lead flow was rubbish. I really wanted to get inquiries, but couldn't. And then you just list them one by one, right? Therefore, this will actually give you that proper insight from someone who's actually lived that pain, and then you can use it in your marketing, right? And then also, at the end of the interview, they usually say, what has been your experience like after working with us? And that would be the desired outcome, okay? And then you can use this to formulate your offer, right? And this is literally a fast way and a shortcut, I would say, to get into your niche and to actually understand everything that they're talking about and all the pain points and desires. The next thing is finding the terminology. So during this interview, they're going to be saying a few words, right? A few key things. We really want patient leads. We really want pre-booked appointment. We really want case leads, right? Or this type of case lead, or this type of roofing job, right? Pick up on that, because that is going to be setting you apart from all the other agencies, right? So all the other agencies are going to go generic. We're going to be snipers. We're going to literally aim and be as specific as possible. So everyone's saying, we'll get you 10 warm leads a month. You're saying, we're going to get you 10 roofing installation jobs per month. Is that something you may be open to? Boom, right? Set yourself apart, okay? Then is in terms of the offer, we follow a formula. So this is from Alex Emozi, Sam Ovens. It works. So if it works, like if it's not broken, don't fix it type of thing. So what we do is we help niche add or get a desired outcome within X month without pain. For saturated niches, I usually tend to go more of the mechanism. So let me just put this in right in here. I tend to really just go more of the mechanism. So is we help niche add desired outcome within X time through mechanism. Okay. And when I mean mechanism, people just overcomplicate mechanism. It's just, for example, this is a mechanism. Okay. What I'm showing you right now is a mechanism. So what you can do is literally look at your onboarding, your delivery, put it in a flowchart, and then find out what actual thing that you do that gets majority of the results. Perhaps, like for example, I could just say the same thing. We help marketing agencies build a no-brainer offer by leveraging their competitors' case studies, right? Or we help marketing agencies add an extra $20,000 per month by leveraging the competitors' case studies. This is just one little mechanism out of the whole thing that we're going to cover, right? So do not overcomplicate mechanism, right? Do not overcomplicate it. You can actually even add a fancy name. Let me just make it through our revolutionized competitor research. That's it. Like guys, marketing is just funny names at the end of the day sometimes, right? So yeah, so do not worry about that. Okay. If you have case studies, you can leverage the results you had previously. So let's say, for example, let's say here I can. So let me just go back to the case studies, right? I can give you an offer saying I can help you make, let's say, 10 to 100K per month, or 10, let's say 30K per month on average of them two, 30K per month in, let's say, 30 days, or let's say if I'm being a bit more realistic, pessimistic, I could say 5 months, because I've done it before, right? So if I look at my case studies and I just pick what I've already done, like there's a higher chance that if you work with me, you're gonna get the results because I've already done it. Okay. The same thing with you. So if you have case studies, do not be scared to leverage it. And to be honest, if you just pick like the best one, the worst one, go in the middle, that'll be your average, right? So your best case study, how much money did you make them? Your worst case study, how much money did you make them? Probably zero. You go in the middle, boom, that's an offer. Okay. So your message, like I've run so many scripts. Like all these case studies was just from cold email. Some was from LinkedIn as well. But I've run so many scripts, guys. The best framework to use is the one that works again and again and again. It's intro, offer, case study, CTA. That's it. You could buy 10 cold email courses. You could look at 100 scripts. They'll all come down to this framework, right? So do not complicate your message, right? The offer is way more important. The case study, the proof is way more important. Like I see a lot of people are like, oh, what's the best script template? XYZ. We'll give you the best script templates. Don't worry, we'll give you that. However, it's like what you're saying in the script is not relevant to what the prospect wants. So it's like if someone's giving you shit and they put it in a nice box, right? It's still shit at the end of the day. Like you can't do anything with it, right? That's the same thing for script. You want to have a clear framework that you just use again and again, and you just change basically the offer or the case study. Okay. So now you've got your basically foundation. I call this the acquisitions foundation. Okay. Next thing is you need attention. You need people to look at you and to hear about your business, to know about your business. You need to get in front of the right audience, the right ideal clients. Okay. So what you need to do is make it a standard for you to at least get 2 to 8 bookings per day, right? Like this is a minimum standard. Without this, there's no lifeblood to the business. Like appointments is the lifeblood of your business. So if you cannot generate 2 to 8 appointments per day, predictably and consistently, you should be shaking right now. And you should not let that even continue, right? Because other people are doing it just on autopilot and you can do it too. It's not hard. Okay. So which means you need around 10 to 30 people per day to engage with your marketing. So to say, hey, John, hey, Sarah, I'm interested. Let's jump on a call, right? So if you get around 10 to 30 people per day, you should literally, because it's like a triple effect, right? If you get 10 to 30 people a day, like even if you have the worst reply templates, at least two of them are going to work, right? At least two of them are going to say, let's learn more about what you do. Okay, so we have two ways. We've got the outbound and the inbound. So I'm going to start off with the inbound and I'm going to go deep on the outbound. Okay, so the inbound is mainly at this stage, especially if you're just starting out, you never done content, it's just to nurture people, right? It's just to nurture people. So when people get your email, they search you up online, they're like, hey, this guy already has content, this guy is trustworthy, and then you can sell them as well, right? So what we want to do is we want to, of course, in terms of getting nurturing content, we want to do at least 7 hours of nurturing content. Okay. And the reason why is because the rule says the 7 hour rule that people need to see at least, of course, this is theoretical. Some of it works. at least 7 hours of your content before actually making the purchasing decision and to actually build that trust with you. Okay. So how are we going to do this? So there's two ways of doing this. The first way is short form. So that's LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And the other way is long form. So we're going to do this simultaneously, right? So with the short form is essentially pick a platform that already has your ideal client and they're actually engaging in it, right? For example, if you're trying to get to gym owners, you should not like realistically be posting that much on LinkedIn, but you should be doubling down on Facebook because they're all there, right? And they're all engaging on Facebook, right? The same thing goes for like I don't know, like sometimes doctors or something. They may not be as active on Instagram, but they may be very active on LinkedIn, Facebook. Okay. So then what you want to do is configure your profile. So that basically means your name, a headshot, a banner, a bio, and about us, right? Very, very simple. What you can do is look at my one and then just copy my one if you want to. And then you want to be posting daily content. Now, do not overcomplicate content. You just want to be posting value posts. So post like sharing insights, helping people, right? Pick just one topic to talk about per post. That's the way I do it. Then a two-step post. So this only really applies for like Facebook and applies for all of them really. So what a two-step post is basically is a post on Facebook where it's just writing and it's like, I just made a loom covering how to get appointments, comment X and I'll send it over. Something like that. So it could be done on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, and it's just basically like a picture of it, just a picture of text. That's it, right? You're gonna be sharing client wins. The more, the merrier. Lessons and thoughts, your personal experience, your viewpoints on things, and the things I realized about content, it's just you have to be like just you, man. You just have to be you. Provide like insane amount of value. Be you. Be unapologetic. You should be cool, man. You should be cool. Like this is how I talk, anyways. Like normally. So yeah, and then lead magnets. So what a lead magnet is, like again, what I like to do as well is lead magnets can actually be YouTube videos. So every time you're making a YouTube video, that could literally be turned into a lead magnet. It's just, of course, naming it, right? So this could be, I could call this. I just made a workflow or let's say a roadmap on how to add an extra 50K a month in the next 6 months, right? Mind if I send it over to you? And this is just a YouTube video, but it could also be a lead magnet. It could be both. So don't get like torn between the parts saying, I need to make a lead magnet. How's a lead magnet? My recommendation is make YouTube videos. And then the ones that you think is really, really valuable, just call them a lead magnet. Finish. Done. Right? So moving forward. So what you want to be doing is actually getting feedback. So review likes, comments, impressions, do more of what's working. So if you know your niche really likes the certain topic, double down on that topic, right? And you'll see there's just people liking it, people engaging on it. So I know in my niche, they really like scripts, templates. They really like cold email. They really like getting leads and stuff like that. So I just tend to talk about them sometimes. Also, they will also like service delivery, etc. So I tend to talk about that as well. So the next thing is long form. So with long form, you want a profile configuration. So headshot, your name, the banner, caption of your YouTube video. So every YouTube video at the bottom has a caption. You can of course templatize that to promote your service, a lead magnet, etc. So yeah. So in terms of posting schedule, so I don't really, in my opinion, I don't really try to overcomplicate YouTube because I just think that the more you help someone, the more someone finds it valuable, and the quicker you can kind of articulate yourself while being enthusiastic, while being somewhat entertaining to your best ability, that people are just going to like what you're doing because you're helping them out and you're making it fun. That's it. Like very simple. So what I like to do is I use Loom, Google Docs, and this Miro. It's called Board Mix, but it's just another version of Miro. And it's just a board where I can basically just implant my thoughts and talk about them. That's it. Right? So I post about my mechanism. I post about problems in the niche, how I can solve them. Post about client wins. So doing breakdown, case study videos. Also, my experience, so what I see, my lessons, things that I've learned, and yeah, just have fun with it, man. The thing is just like, especially with YouTube, I've seen a lot that like it's a marathon or a race type of thing. So the more you can like tune it to your personality, the more you're gonna like it. The more you're gonna like it, the more you're gonna do more of it, right? And this really builds up. I remember like when we're doing it for AGP, we were posting consistently. We're getting around like 1 to 7 appointments per week just from this. So realistically, we could have just doubled down on YouTube and then just generated more appointments. Okay. Now, in terms of mechanism, views, watch time, and appointments. So what you want to do is adjust your content based on the data. If people are liking more when you talk like this or when you do this, just try add more elements throughout the whole video. Okay. And like I said, the main goal here is to nurture. It's not really even to become famous, man. It's just to, like, when people search up your name, they can listen to you a bit. They understand what you're doing. Like, keep it very, very, very minimal. Okay. So then what we're going to do is you're going to get appointments from this, going to generate appointments, and then we're going to go to sales. But before we go to sales, before we turn into the Wolf of Wall Street and start closing deals and start saying, give me your money right now, let's actually go into outbound. Now, outbound is one of my personal favorites. I predominantly used outbound for majority of my agency career, and yeah, I'm pretty good at it, I would say. I hope so, anyways. So what you want to do is you need to, again, make a standard of 2 to 8 appointments from outbound, which means you need around 10 to 30 people per day to engage with your outbound, right? Now, there's 2 ways I will do it. And the reason I'll do 2 ways is that I love email. I've used email. I love social outbound. I used it. But I've seen that sometimes you may have slow weeks on email because you may have to fix deliverability. There may be recycling leads, etc. And sometimes social outbound, you get restricted. So your account gets restricted. So what I like to do is use them in like at the same time. And then when one falls down, lean on the other and vice versa, right? But when they're both strong and they're both pillaring, oh my days, you'll be able to kill again 20, 50 appointments per week, just using these 2 effectively. And I'm going to be showing you the main things you need to know to scale both of them effectively. Okay. So let's start off with the social outbound. So number 1, you need to pick a platform that has your ideal audience, that has your ideal, and it's actually easy for you to find them as well, right? If it's not easy for you to find them, it's going to be harder in terms of scaling because you may need like a VA to go and source the leads for you and actually give it to your sellers. Okay. And they're actively engaging on it. So when you message them, they're not just going to air you because they're actually on the platform, right? So what you want to do is build your infrastructure. So we personally use the voice note method. So we use a permission-based voice note. So saying, hey, John, great to be connected. Just want to check in. Are you open to scaling your revenue? The reason why I got opportunity for you, and then I'll go into if you'd like to learn more about this opportunity, just send me a thumbs up, just send me a message and I'll send over more information. If not, no worries, right? And this way we don't end up becoming spammy and we actually just like can have a normal conversation with them, right? And then what we then use is more like a mini pitch that just explains a bit about the service, but not too much. Do not explain the whole thing about the service. Just give them an overview and then ask for a call. And then once they give you, say, ask for permission, say yes, let's jump on a call. Ask them to send over a Canny link. If they say yes, send them over a Canny link, book them into the call. Very, very simple. Okay. And the one thing you find is like a lot of these like systems are not really complicated. A lot of people just try to make them complicated to sell you on something, but they're pretty much simple, right? You just need to follow the process. So what we've actually added, I'm going to put this as in the thing, is to add voice note script. So this will be completely free. It's going to be in the comments below, in the caption below, and you can just have access to it and you can just modify it to what you want. Okay. So that is a freebie. I'll give that to you. The next thing is once you've actually set everything up, you need to find proof of concept. Now, what proof of concept is if you send 50 messages on outbound and you get 1 appointment. And that, of course, means that you have to track how many messages you send, how many people replied, how many people jumped on a call. But if you have 1 person jump on a call with 50 messages sent, that's enough for you to scale, right? Because if you want to get, let's say, 5 appointments per day, you just times 50 by 5. That's 250 messages. Boom, 250 messages per day. Bap, 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 bap. That's 5 appointments, okay? And the things that you need to, of course, pull, the biggest levers to pull to ensure that when you're testing, yeah, you can actually get to that 2% ABR is your first message, the Trojan horse message that I'll put there for you. The leads that you're targeting, making sure they're active on the platform, and your offer as well. And to be honest, if you want to be cheeky, your profile configuration. There was one of our seller called Luke. He came into the company, right? And he just started killing it off the bat. And we just used Instagram at that time. And I was thinking what? Why are you killing it? Like, you're not doing anything different. But his profile, he had reels on his Instagram. He had pictures of him and his friends. It looked really much like a real person. So of course, people are going to respond positively. Whereas your Instagram is just like business quotes or like quotes from Greek gods or Aurelius or some stupidity like that, where it doesn't really show anything about yourself, right? And that's the thing that I've seen like make a big difference on social outbound. Is mainly like a how you look game. Okay. The next thing then is scaling, right? So once you've actually found a proof of concept, and in terms of proof of concept, I would just backtrack and say you need to be sending around 30 to 50 messages per day, right? That's enough for you to like have a catalyst for growth and to actually see results. If you're doing anything below that, you're just not doing enough work, right? And if you're really being cheeky, Alex Amosi calls it a rule of 100. I will still be doing a rule of 100 right here, right? Just try to get as much done in one day. Then scaling. So what you want to do is use the scaling framework that we've created and like we've used is number one, buy more accounts on the same platform, right? Number two, onboard commission only setters on the same platform. Number three, buy them more accounts on the same platform and max them out on the same platform. And then, and why do we say that is because if you change platforms, is like you're changing lead sourcing, you're changing profile configuration, you're changing the quality, the leads and how they interact in the platform. So it's basically like starting again from basically ground zero and reworking your way up. However, if you know a platform like let's say Facebook, you know how to lead source on Facebook, you know there's all your clients there, you know how to message people on Facebook, and you just do more of Facebook instead of going to LinkedIn, right? It's gonna be easier for you to scale, and you're gonna do it in a much shorter time, and you get better success, right? So we recommend scaling, doubling the volume, and essentially getting more accounts and getting more setters. Okay, so that is on the scaling outbound, and then you want to document all of your processes, right? I don't know if you just hear the ambulance going. You want to document all of your processes and remove yourself from the process. Okay, what does that look like? Is we use Loom and Notion to centralize all our SOPs. So when a new team member comes on board, it's easy for them to follow and straight away, right? So the new team member doesn't have to start from zero; can just hear your own voice, you doing it, and yeah, just get started with it. So next thing is email outbound, right? This is my bread and butter, I would say. I also social outbound, but I've been doing this from literally the start. So email outbound, what you want to do is follow our 30, what we do is basically follow our 32 email system. So you have 32 emails, 8 domains, and this should allow you to send up to 1,200 messages on a daily basis. And you want to essentially also create reply templates, which allows you to respond to prospects automatically, right? You should not be in the inbox more than like 10 minutes a day. Like if you're in the inbox for more than 10 minutes a day, like you're doing something crazy, right? Because there's already around 4 to 5 replies they can actually only get from cold email. And yeah, you can templatize like all of them. So do not be in the inbox for like 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day. Like you don't need to do that. And so we're sending around 1,200 per day. And then what we want to do in terms of finding leads, sorry, I'm going to cough. I'm going to pause this. I just need a cough and come back. Give me a second. Perfect. Just finished with my cough. Let's carry on. So the next thing is you want to leverage your case studies to find other companies like them, right? So if you don't have case studies, you find like your ideal clients and try find more companies like them. Therefore, you know your leads are kind of as accurate as you want it to be. Do not start lead sourcing until you have a clear ICP, right? I see a lot of people just try lead sourcing for the sake of, I just want to send out volume. Do not do that. Get clear on who you want to talk to and then find who you want to talk to. Don't just try guess who you want to talk to and try guess how to find who you want to talk to. You just creating like with clarity comes speed and precision, and you want to be as precise as possible with cold email. Okay, especially in this day and age when anyone can just send thousands of emails, right? And you want to set up your lead sourcing software. So that's like, of course, cleaning, so email cleaning and email scraping. Okay, and email scraping, right? Perfect. And then in terms of once you've set up the email infrastructure, what we also added is our email called Email Vault. And this is basically the top 15 email templates that we use in our agency again and again, and our clients use to book appointments. So not only am I going to give you the Trojan horse method, I'm also going to give you all of our script vault, right? That's going to be all down in the comments. So just go down there, pick it up on the house, right? And then the next thing is finding proof of concept. So the only thing I focus on email is offer, guarantee, and case studies. That's it. Offer, guarantee, and case studies. If something's wrong, I look at the offer, guarantee, and case studies. Assuming we're targeting the right leads, of course. But if we're targeting the right leads, that's all the thing I'm looking at. If you're not targeting the right leads, then look at the right leads and then come back to this, okay? And guys, just like if you double your positive reply rate, which is one of the main metrics, that I'll say one of the hardest metrics to double. If you double the positive reply rates of your cold email, you double your business. It's that simple. If you go from a 1% positive reply rate to a 2% positive reply rate, you double your business, right? And what we're looking at in terms of kind of like how we can do this, a good strategy that I've been using that's working well for me is like a lead magnet. So what it is like I said, it's like a video like this, or let's say you create a template like what I showed you about the cold email vault, and then you give that out for free, and yeah, you ask permission to the prospect. So for example, you won't just send over something that they haven't asked for. We tend to usually ask permission. Hey, is it okay if I send that over to you? And if they say yes, then boom, send that over to you, get your foot into the door. Okay. Like I said, you can use your YouTube videos and kill two birds with one stone. That's why right now in this day and age, like content is even more important than ever because it's so high leverage. You can use it again and again and again. Right? There's some old Sam Ovens videos. If you don't know, Sam Ovens is like one of the biggest, like one of the old school agency owners, entrepreneurs that had a consulting business, and I still sometimes just review his videos because they're just so valuable, right? So if you create something of real value and actually helps people out, it's like you can just reuse that again and again and again. Okay. Then last thing is scaling. So once you found proof of concept, and what we mean proof of concept is zero point 0.5 to 1.5 appointment booking rate. So if you're getting a zero point 0.5 appointment booking rate or 1.5 appointment booking rate before at this stage, you should just scale up, right? Because if you're at this stage, the amount of work that it requires to actually double the positive reply rate is not worth, it's like disproportional compared to if you just increase the volume, right? And for example, if you're getting 1,000, if you're getting 1,000 leads and you're doing 1% of that, like that's around like 10 appointments a day. So you can just boom, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, just sending 1,000 a day. Okay. So scaling, when it comes to scaling, we want to buy more emails using the exact method we just used to get emails, right? I see a lot of people, they want to scale and then they just change the email provider. Like you started on Gmail. Gmail got you the initial results, and now you want to go to Outlook. Why don't you just go back to Gmail that got you the original results and just stay on Gmail, right? A lot of people just get confused. If you're using Gmail, just use Gmail. You only need Gmail to go. You don't need to like spread. Yeah, of course, you can spread across risk across other email providers if you're doing a lot of clients. But if it's just yourself, Gmail is enough. Okay. Then we then buy more leads that fit our ICP. And if we run out of leads, what I do is I target similar niches. So let's say you're going from cosmetics to like general beauty, or like for example, cybersecurity to data mining. I'll target similar niches, or I'll target different job titles. So let's say one good one that is a nugget not a lot of people talk about is targeting presidents instead of founders and CEOs. Presidents, 9 times out of 10, are usually decision makers as well. And they usually sometimes are founders and CEOs, but they just call themselves presidents. I don't know why. And yeah, and then what you can do, if you actually run out all your leads, you can recycle them in the next 60 days, minimum 60 days, because 9 times out of 10, we live in a fast moving world. If they see your email and they didn't respond or they said no, it's probably just the wrong timing, or you caught them on a bad day. 30, 60 days now, the situation may be different. They may have closed the client and they'll be able to afford your service. Okay. So the big thing I'll say is when you're scaling, like you always need to be looking at deliverability, right? So we suggest never going over 40 emails per account, right? So if you're sending more than 40 emails per your email inboxes, just keep it at that. If you're doing a bit more than that, you're risking deliverability, right? And I'll tell you one story about deliverability. Deliverability is just a sneaky little thing, right? And one time we had deliverability problems, and the way I kind of seen deliverability problems is like it's just like your reply rates just decrease over time, right? Your positive reply rates just decrease over time, but you haven't done anything to the system. So let's say I haven't messed with the system, I haven't touched it because I found proof of concept. I don't need to touch the system. It's already built. The work is done. And guys, I remember having the first proof of concept script. It lasted me 6 months. 6 months without touching the script and just booking meeting every single month for 6 months. Okay, so you only need one good script to add an extra $50,000 per month. Like, trust me, we've done the same thing. But what we found is that every single week, like the reply rate just dropped again and again, just dropped. And I'm like, what the flip is going on, right? And I'm like, I looked at all of the emails. I'm like, what's going on? They haven't changed anything. But then I realized, like, the 80-20 rule, 20% of our emails were getting 80% of the replies. And all the other emails were just landing in inbox. So what I've done is I just got rid of all them emails, restarted it, and then just used the 20% of the emails. And then the results just stayed the same, but we were actually getting better results per message sent. Okay. So that's how I kind of spot deliverability. It's just like if I had like consistent lower results week in and I haven't changed anything. Okay, that's a very good way to spot deliverability. But what I always suggest is like, guys, if you need like 30 emails, just buy 40 emails, right? The reason why is expect deliverability and just have 10 emails in the back, just in case this happens, so you don't lose all of your volume, right? You mitigate that. And then once that's done, you want to document the process. You want to document how you create scripts. You want to document how you add leads to your instantly sending provider. So you want to document all of this. The reason why is because we want to get out of this, right? We want to, of course, get out of it or delegate as much as humanly possible that we don't like, right? So let's say if you really like doing email copy and you know there's a high ROI and you know it makes you money, you can just stick at it and delegate everything else, okay? So that is one. So then you get in bookings. You get around 2 to 10 bookings per day, and now it's time to close the sales, right? So sales. So I want to be close to minimum at 20%. That's enough to, of course, for to kind of like prohibit growth and to kind of like contain growth. So if you're not closing at 20%, you're kind of wasting a few leads, and you really want to get better at closing, right? And the one thing I would say is that like if you have a good offer, it just makes closing a lot easier, right? That's what I would say. If you have a really good offer, you have the guarantees, you have bonuses, you have a like you talk about the desired outcomes in your offer, and it's literally like no brainer. There's zero risk on their side. Like you can be closing at 40% just because of your offer, right? And I remember when AGP we had a low closing percentage, right? And then I was like why are we not closing deals? Like I was like, it doesn't make sense. And then I realized we just changed the offer, right? And I was like, why do we change the offer? And sometimes like it's so much easier said than done. Like when you're in the game, when you're in the field, you're like, oh my god, like why would you even do that? But at that moment, I can't remember now why we changed it ever. We changed the offer, right? Thinking it's going to get us more sales, but our old offer was already working. So I was like, why did we just break something that wasn't broken to begin with? Like it was working perfectly fine. So as soon as we went back to the old offer, right, we just started closing more deals. Boom, who knows, right? And that's what I mean. Like if it's one of the highest leverage thing for you to close more deals is to look at your offer and just to be completely honest. Like how can I make it so stupid that they feel like so like good that they feel stupid saying no, right? And I recommend reading Alex Emoji's book and just creating like an offer that's like, hey, like we're taking on the risk. Like you just need to do X, Y, Z, and then boom, like you just see the results. Okay. Now, this is kind of the sales workflow we've been using right now. So the first one is just a pre-call sales workflow. So what that is like is an introduction to my company. So like what we do, go over some case studies, and then go over how the call goes, and then I just connect with them on LinkedIn, right? I use Calendly a lot. So if you use Calendly, you can automate all of that and actually send them reminders. Okay. The next thing is the sales script, right? So the sales script, we use a closer framework. We also use kind of like the Sam Robbins one, sales script, but it usually follows a closer framework. This is from Alex Emoji, and it's basically just clarify why they're there, so why they jumped on the call in the first place, label them with a problem, overview their past, so what they tried in the past, why it didn't work, etc., and then sell the vacation. Like, where do you want to be in 12 months? Josiah, where do you want to be? How much money do you want to be making? How's the team going to look like? Right? What are you doing? Right? If you want like live access, just book a call below and I'll walk you through live how it works. But I'm just joking. But you want to essentially go over the past and be like, hey, okay, then go over the vacation, where you want to be, how's life going to look at $10,000 per month, $15,000 per month, $100,000 per month, and explain away their concern, right? So after you pitch, they're going to have concerns like a normal human being. They're going to be like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work for me. Then you have to explain to them why it will work for them, and then of course close them, and then reinforce that decision. So once they're onboarded, they'll have essentially they can have an onboarding call with me, or I send over a message once they've onboarded and they've paid the invoice saying, hey, so glad you're here. I know we're going to kill it. Let's go. Let's move things forward. Let's get you to that X K per month. Okay. So, and what I'll do here is also the pitch. So the main thing I focus on the pitch is make your offer so good that they feel stupid saying no. Let me just say it here. They feel stupid saying no. They feel stupid saying no. You want to have conviction. Like when you pitch, you want to like say like, this is the best flipping bread in the bloody market. Like you should be doing this. And I give you a story, right? So before, especially where I used to live in my whole old town, Northampton down south, right? And there used to be like this Jehovah Witness in the town center. So every time I used to go to the town center to get like the bus or something, there used to be like this one Jehovah Witness. Oh my days, I always remember him. Like the guy was just like, I'm already a Christian, but the guy was just selling me on Christianity. I'm like, oh my god, like bro, like what did God do to you that He hasn't done to me? Like the way he was talking about it, it was like it was coming out, and I just felt how much he believed. And that's the same thing that you want to bring across your prospect. Like you need to believe that you have the best product in the market, right? And if you don't, then work on the product until it becomes until you get that feeling. Make sure you have some people there, and make sure that you actually bring that across the call. Then guarantees just shows, of course, you can use the guarantee of the pitch, but you can also use it in the objection as well. You can have in the back pocket, but a guarantee just shows confidence, right? And another thing I like to do is add bonuses. So like you get on a coaching call, we'll give you this we'll also give you kind of like this thing as well, like this resource. Like let's say, for example, if you join the call with me today, I'll give you the call email scripts. Also, I'll give you outbound scripts. But this is something that we're going to get anyways by just joining the program, right? We can add that as a guarantee, right? Oh, as a bonus. Sorry, you can add that as a bonus, but it's already part of the main thing. But you're going to add in this, you're going to add in that, and you're also going to add in that. Okay, and they're going to be like, wow, like this is a good offer, right? Another thing I do is incentive based pricing. The reason why is I like people that make quick decisions. So if I rather like cut the price by X amount so you can make a decision on the call with me today, I'd rather do that and just get you started ASAP than just waiting another week for you to think about it, right? And you can use that to kind of like get people to essentially pay you money as soon as possible, right? And the next thing is objection. So the main mechanism I use is I tend to be a lot curious. So I tend to have a curious tonality, and I tend never to fall victim to the prospect's tonality. So the prospect is like, for example, they may say, "Oh, I need to think about it." They may be like, "I don't know if this is for me." Doubt, right? Like they're already negative. Why am I then gonna match their negativity? I'm gonna then be positive, curious, right? Stay in my own frame rather than come to their frame and raise their frame up and fill them with confidence and kind of like conviction, right? And what I do is I loop. So of course, like empathize with the process and I understand that, and then of course go into the next part is saying explaining that away. So like you don't need to worry about that because we've added this thing, and it'll make it literally impossible for you not to get to that extra $1,000 per month, which you said. So I loop it back around to the actual main goal that they previously said on the discovery call. And yeah, that's basically the whole thing. Every time they come with an objection, I just loop it around, loop it around, loop it around, and basically explain, like I said, all their concerns away. So there's only really big five object. There's only big five big objections that you're gonna get. So it's product, money, partner, time, and fear. Okay. So if you have like all these objections and you think like it's so complicated, you just need to simplify them. If there's only five objections you're gonna get, then have five proven rebuttals, right? Have five rebuttals, have five things that you know you're always going to say, right? No matter what. And this actually gives me a quote from like Bruce Lee. He doesn't fear a guy that has practiced thousands of kicks. He fears a guy that's practiced one kick thousands of times. So if you know there's only five objections, then write five objections again and again and practice them again and again with your tonality. Keep going over, keep going on until you ingrain them. So then when you get it, you're like, hey, I've already done this so many times. Come on, pass me objections, pass me objections. Another thing I actually want to circle back in is the pitch. So in the pitch, what I like to do is pitch them stories, right? So pitch them stories. So like say, for example, do you know when let's use email, right? Do you know when you're sending emails and like people are not replying to them and you just think like you're spamming people and you're getting not interested, right? You know, like when that's happened, what we found is that like that's because you're not saying the right things to them. For example, do you know if someone like wants to like give you like ice cream, right? And your favorite, you don't really like strawberry ice cream. You really, really like chocolate ice cream. But someone's coming to you with like strawberry ice cream again and again. You're going to say no because you just don't like the ice cream, right? That's the same thing the prospect does with your messaging. They don't really know what it is because you're not talking about the things that they want. So instead of saying we'll give you strawberry, what about if we just say we'll give you chocolate, right? Do you see how us changing the messaging will help the prospect actually see the value in your service, right? And jump on a call with you. And they're gonna be like, I never really thought of it like that. Makes sense. And then boom, going to the next point, right? I just keep talking about stories because people just listen to stories, like stories resonate. And then like I said, you want to get good at the five objections and just practice them day in, day out. And then closing, you just want to ask them to move forward. Let me just move, ask them. Let me just move that. Ask them to move forward. To move forward. Perfect. And once you ask them to move forward, just onboarding, getting them in, and getting them started, right? And then last thing is you want to record all of your calls, and you want to also have a feedback form where you go through the main objections you're getting, and then you can actually see objectively where you're failing and where you're doing good in your sales process. Okay, and review this on a daily basis, right? So This is what you call the 50K a month roadmap, right? So if you just follow this, there's no way you can't see success. The reason why is because I've done this twice, right? Case studies here, everything there, and that's it. So what I'm hoping for you to do in the video is look at this, right, and see where are you in the journey and see what things you can implement, right, and just follow this roadmap to get to that 50,000. That's it for Josiah, and take care. Bye.